That's true. Okay, we are live. Good morning, Houston. We are live this morning at a very special place here, very close to downtown. We're at JoyBox Flowers. I am Yaneth Martell, and you are watching the Caffeinated Show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kimberly with North American Title. Thank you for joining us, and we are at a beautiful location.
Yes.
This bright and hot and humid Monday morning. I was going to say Sunday morning, but
it is Monday.
Can we go back to Sunday?
We still need more coffee.
One more cup.
One more cup. Our special guest this morning, we are live at JoyBox Fine Flowers with this beautiful background. And our special guest this morning is Staci Henderson and Layla Asgari. Okay. Thank you, ladies, for joining us and having us.
Thank you for coming. This is fun.
I know. Well, we're excited to be here. We obviously see all the work that you've been putting into this great project and your business. So we're excited to talk to women that are in business and also love real estate. Yes. So I know that you guys have also, sold and bought homes, and our audience really, most of the time, we are talking to people about how to make smart decisions when it comes to their money. And also how to talk about, we love talking about making their spaces beautiful. So we thought it would be the perfect combination if we could help our realtors and our clients out there
and homeowners
and
homeowners just know what you guys do and your availability. We've had lots of guests on the show before that we like a stager and the importance of having your home perfectly staged in order for it to sell quickly, hopefully, right?
Yes.
So what else? We should have had some flowers.
Oh yes,
That's what you needed a little box.
We can get a box of flowers. Grab one. Yeah. We actually work with different local realtors as far as their there we go.
So
as far as their gifting. As a closing gift, and so that's always nice, and some home builders as well. So, and also these particular roses, this is our Everlasting collection. So these last 3 years without any care, and they're real, they're not fake.
Oh, wow.
And so I think it's a beautiful little thing to put on your armoire, by your dressing table. It's so girly.
And it's perfect as a closing gift also, or just if you want to make your home beautiful. Well, we are excited to be here, but we want to talk a little bit about your weekend. How was your weekend? We want to just...
Mine was great.
I know.
I had a little staycation at the Post Oak Hotel.
Best.
It was great. I had my little girls with me. We did the pool, and it was great. I woke up this morning and had to get pretty. Put on a lot of makeup. And as I was leaving, my daughter was like, "Where are you going?" Because I never look like this at 10. Never.
Yeah, Monday mornings are probably when we come in yoga clothes.
Yes.
But yeah, the weekend was fun. It was busy. We saw a lot of friends. It's great.
That's always the nice thing to do on the weekend.
Yeah, catch up with people.
Yes.
Well, we do value a family, and we both have children. Hers are smaller than mine, but I still have, my youngest is 8. And so we do value our family time and our free time, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable to come back into the studio on Monday when you've had a weekend off.
So that's exactly true. Well,
I'm trying to remember what we did. My production assistant, Claire, is here with us today. Thank you, Claire, for joining us. I know what we did. Yesterday we went to one of the markets in Edo and just kind of checked it out and walked around and got to meet some of the, local kind of coffee people that are doing their little thing. And so that's really all we did. Yes, Saturday. I can't think of what we did. We do so much during the week that the weekend, like you said, time is very valuable.
That's true.
And sometimes you just want to not do anything.
Just relax.
Just
watch movies and eat popcorn.
I actually did do some laundry, I think, on Saturday.
Don't do that again.
Yeah.
That was a no-no.
That's why we have kids.
That's right.
Kids do the laundry.
It's
It's good training. It's good training.
No, well, we went to the Astros, but I wanted to say we thought we would bring them luck, because they've had a losing streak. So they almost pulled it off, and then at the very end, it got away from us. But we were almost there, and hopefully getting them to lose that
Verlander, what's going on with Verlander?
Well, there's a couple of them that are on the injury list.
True,
Like I know
true.
Altuve, we thought he would be back yesterday, but he's not. And I'm not a big sports person, by the way.
You
It's not
sound like one.
I'm really not at all. But my kids are so into baseball that I have to also engage and know what's going on. So my son thinks he's one of the baseball players.
He's so
but
cute.
Oh,
It was so it was really nice to be able to be out there, and even that's the beauty of our city. And I think doing business in our city and just really enjoying going out to do things with our families is that there is so much pride here. I feel like we love our teams, we love everything about Houston, and
Houstonians are so loyal. I
They
mean,
are.
my husband, I don't remember ever hearing him talk about baseball, ever. He was football.
Right.
Now he's baseball. And if we didn't have that, it'd be like high school badminton. Anything that somebody is playing, he's all in.
Right.
He used to get really into our kids' little league, and I'd be like,
Oh man,
it's really not that big of a deal. And if
Right.
they didn't win, like,
it
devastated.
crushed them.
Yeah, so I do think that the people, especially in Houston, get super behind their teams.
I think so too, but I think in general, just their teams or the things that make Houston.
Right.
I guess it took my husband 20 years after we got married for him to really say, okay, he's a Houstonian because he's from Miami Beach. He really missed the beach, but now he sees there's so much beauty, and I think our city has evolved so much, even in the last 20 years or 15 years, and there's spaces like where we are today
Right.
that were not available, so long ago, but it's having the creative people behind and really trying to make something different available to us.
There's so much talent here.
Yeah.
Well,
Even this building alone.
Right.
Oh, in this building
Oh,
alone.
yeah.
I was just thinking that this time last year was the whole Harvey situation.
Right.
And I remember because my children's school was delayed starting for 2 weeks. And today we're doing like the back to school shopping. And I think that with all the rebuilding and everything that Houston had to do, chip in together,
Right.
I think that brought people closer together too.
That's true.
You really, with Houston, I think when we look at other cities that go through those natural catastrophes, I don't see the nonsense that goes on in other cities going on here.
Yeah, I didn't
Right.
see
And we really do come together and help each other out. I mean, we were delivering, I flooded, but I had flood insurance, and I'm a repeat flooder.
That's the new term.
Flutter, yeah. So I was like, no big deal. We're going to go through this again. We've since moved and gotten out of that repeat flood situation. But instead of sitting at home and dwelling about, boo-hoo me, I flooded again, we were able to team up with a real estate broker here and probably spent $1,000 or $2,000, or no, I think it was like $10,000. It was a lot for pizza. And we all took it upon ourselves to load up our vehicles with pizza and go deliver pizza, just some sort of hot meal, to other neighborhoods that were worse than ours.
That's amazing.
So,
Well, and it's always about bringing some joy,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
To somebody else. For me, and for everybody that I see, I think in Houston in general, most of the people really want to be a good neighbor and help each other. But that's why I love the name of your business, because truly it is joy in a box. It's anytime you can bring someone happiness, it just helps you also be happy because you see the smile in their face.
Exactly.
So tell us, how did you guys decide to join together and bring us JoyBox?
It's our favorite story.
It's our
So you want to
favorite
tell
story.
it?
Sure. Well, Staci was having a Christmas party one year, and what year was that?
Over 2 years ago. Oh, it would have been it'll be 2.
16, December
Yeah.
2016.
Okay.
And she invited me. We were friends. We are friends. I always say we were
Now that we're working together,
We are friends.
that I feel the same way. Sometimes
We're basically related now.
Pretty much the same person. But
Yeah. But I thought to myself, I want to take Staci something special. She's got a lot of clothes, jewelry, shoes, and now I'm making you sound so materialistic.
No,
She
not
has
at all.
nice things, so what do I get her? And I said, let me just make her something special myself. So I thought, I want to make her some flowers in a box. And I thought that was a thing, Well, I called around to a lot of local florists, including the one my husband uses a lot. Used. He's not allowed to.
Not anymore.
So, and talking about? Can you send us a picture of what you're conceptualizing? We don't have boxes. You know, I got the same thing from everyone I called, so I said, forget it, I'm just gonna make it myself. So I made her. It sort of looked like this.
Similar.
It was a little bigger. There were rows of roses. It was like
An
an ombre fashion.
Oh, how pretty.
And it was in like a wooden unstained box. And
It had my an H.
It had
initial.
H for
I saved the
Henderson.
box.
You
I still have the
Aw.
box.
oh my god, we need to bring that
I'll
here.
bring it in.
Yeah. So, and I took it to her house. She opened the door, and
Freaked out.
she freaked out.
Oh my god, look at this! You know, it was just like I'd seen things similar like on Pinterest or whatever, but never in person. I was like, how did you do this? Like she's a wizard, you know. And everyone else was giving her all kinds of, you know, mad credit for it. Like, wow, look what she made. And then there was some wine. And then I was like, you should start a business. You can make money doing this, and I'll help you.
Yeah, and I had a very young child at that point.
That's true.
6
He was
months
like,
old?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And my daughter was around 3.5. I was taking a break from dentistry at the time because my son was so young. And I was like, okay. We liked the reaction we were getting at the party for the flowers, so we just started it. And
Within a month. We
You
started
went to
it.
business right
We
away.
went,
And we actually launched it. We launched a very homemade website right before Valentine's Day.
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
A better way to get business
Right,
started.
Valentine's
than
Day.
Valentine's
Super
Day.
homemade, and the pictures were all from an iPhone, but we got a lot of orders that very first week.
Boy, did we. We almost had a nervous breakdown.
We had a meltdown.
12-hour days. I'm like, we can get it done.
Yeah.
But it was great.
It was great. We had a great response. People loved it, and it's just been a journey. I mean, that's what I would call it, a journey.
How many years in now? 2?
1.5.
Yeah.
1.5.
1.5.
Since we've been really in full swing.
Yeah.
And, you know, we started out with our wooden boxes. And we're still proud to say they're locally sourced. We try to
They're beautiful.
shop as much local, you know, as we can. Now we outsource our hat boxes, and learning the shipping and importing ins and outs was a whole other debacle.
Right.
Now I've worked before in my life, but I always worked for somebody else, for a company. So having our own thing, like I don't know how to do that. You know, I don't even know who's going to do the tax stuff. Who's going to, you know, just all the little things. The trademarks and like there's a lot of little things you got to do.
You're the
to bring
force
the
behind
boxes.
these are the ones that they're talking about that are sourced locally.
Yes.
But you're right, it is trying to find or juggle it all because you're the creative force behind it.
Right.
But you're right, there's all these other
There's the
marketing,
unfun
there's
stuff.
accounting, there's delivery sometimes.
Oh, delivery.
That's the part, yes. So I have to tell you guys a little story. When my daughter was about a couple of months old, I also decided to start a creative business, which I've always been in the financial advising area and then transitioned over to the lending side of real estate. But before I did that, I decided to start a creative company, and I did cupcakes. So I had an online cupcake store. And I only did it because I also made some for my friend, and she's like, oh, you really need to bake some. And I ended up doing it. And they were delicious. They were featured in the Chronicle. They were great. But it was that, not knowing how to manage, you know, all these different things. And I think when I look back, and you guys can take, you know, my advice from it is you always need to find the people that can help you in all those different areas. Do not try to do it all yourself.
Tackle it yourself,
And I think that was my mistake when I was running my cupcake company, that, you know, through the years I've, you know, thought about it. It took the joy out of creating.
Right. And back then, I mean, even just a couple of years ago, think about a couple of years ago, Instagram wasn't a thing. Now that's our main source of marketing. When you run the analytics and everything, and that has to look a certain way, and the feed has to be right. And she's actually the wizard behind that, because I'm more like, oh, this is pretty, let's post it. And you know, it has to be cohesive and all that. But yeah, almost all of our marketing comes from that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, newsletter also, but mostly Instagram. Yeah.
It's amazing how social media has evolved
Right.
and allowed businesses for the most part to be able to market for free.
Yeah.
Or, because you can reshare and your friends, or hopefully all of our friends are out there resharing the show right now.
Absolutely.
If you're watching, please reshare the show. But it's just a great source of just marketing and resharing and getting the word out.
And
in email.
networking.
Right,
Networking.
We've met so many awesome people through Instagram who just
Right.
reached out and said, hey, do you want to do something? Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Collaborations.
That's how we
Yeah.
connected,
Yes.
and I think it's the smartest way when you're really watching your cost and your
Right.
bottom line, and you're a young business and you're wanting to put everything back in, and somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I'll put you in my magazine. It's only $5,000."
Yeah,
well, you're
right.
like, that's
Yeah.
not what you're wanting to spend it on. And so if you can learn to market yourself and have other people promote you for free or in trade,
Right.
that's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of our realtors, our agents struggle with that too, because it's the same
Right.
thing with marketing. They'll get offered to be in a magazine or do something, and
Or
then
a
it's
show.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
And most agents coming out of school you're already in the
Right.
negative.
Right.
Just to get started, and then to have that big expense of being in a magazine, and then really deciding this print really works still.
You're
Right.
hoping that it pays off.
Yeah.
Because then if it doesn't, it's like the double-edged,
Oh,
I
yes,
did
yeah.
it, didn't even work.
Yeah.
So that's scary.
Yeah, I think that what people think going into a business is that they need to be in big magazines or collaborate with people that have 1 million followers, but
Right.
that's just not true. You just need to really just network with everyone that you click
Yeah.
with, everyone whose product you have respect for, whose art you have respect for, and it will grow. You just have to be patient.
Right.
Yeah.
And just ask everybody. I'm never afraid to ask anybody for anything. The worst they can say is no. It's a numbers
Right.
game. So
That is so
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have great advice on how to start, how to maintain your business, and I do agree. I think really that's what a lot of people out there need to hear, because I think there's a lot of great ideas out there, but they don't know. I think we talk ourselves out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you guys, you saw it was good, you knew there was something you wanted to do together, and you went for it instead of sitting there and thinking, should I do this or should I not do that? We hear it all the time
Yeah.
for people that want to, either start a business, but you have to have that passion, but you also have to do the action plan and then figure out how are you going to run the business.
And don't give up.
And don't
Because
give up.
there's going to be really
Mm-hmm.
sucky times. And you just got to keep looking forward if you believe in it.
Right.
If you believe in it.
I think
And-
that's why we've been a good team.
Yeah.
There have been different times along the business where each of us have thought, why are we doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? But when I'm having a meltdown,
Right.
she's fine.
Right.
And vice versa. So thank goodness. That's why we're still in business. Because
Right.
you were talking earlier, the yin and the yang. That's
Right.
pretty
Yeah,
much how
no,
we are.
totally.
Well,
There's
that's
times
true.
when I, just with my business too, I was stressing out after the show or something, and Yaneth always can bring me back down and be like, okay, just do this and this.
Yeah.
And get it together, Kim.
In a loving way.
In a loving way. Like, what's the big goal
What's the
here?
goal?
Ultimately, that's what we're always discussing.
Right.
Like, what is our biggest passion and goals in life, and
Right.
how can we achieve those?
Right.
Not only as women, but moms. I
Right.
mean, that we're all moms and busy working and carrying our day jobs along
Right.
as well still. So
Right.
it can be an adventure. And
It is.
Sunday nights roll around and we're texting each other like mad women. What are we doing tomorrow? Where are we at? Because you're just trying to remember.
But that's true, and it's and success really is defined differently by everyone, And I think the sooner we learn that as growing up, I think the better it is for us, because we can be a more authentic version of ourselves, and we can really do what we're passionate about.
Right.
And so anyway, I always I tell Kim this all the time. Remember, the what you have in your mind for yourself and your family shouldn't be defined by what others tell you. It's what you think, what you want to do. So,
That's true.
so speaking of success, how do you define success? What can you tell us?
I definitely, one thing I know for sure is it doesn't have to do with money.
Right.
And I've learned that in business, if you do something for money, probably you're not going to succeed.
Right.
If you go into it initially just
Right.
thinking about money, because certainly I didn't go into this thinking about money. I had a really great career. I just think whatever really fulfills you, where you're excited every day about it, and I am so excited to come here all the time.
Right.
I mean, there's been days where I'm like, but I love it. I mean, I love
Right.
it. I love when people love what we give them. I love the stories. I love flowers. I
Right.
truly love it, and I think that's success.
Yes.
Yeah,
Happiness.
happiness in what you do.
Yeah.
I love my family. I love my role as a mother. My oldest is 19. And I found, though, that for me, that doesn't fulfill me totally.
Right.
I feel like I have some other things to contribute.
Right.
And I felt frustrated for a lot of years. I didn't really have an outlet, you know, and so this has been good for me. Definitely. I love the creative side of it as well. I don't mind a paycheck, though, just saying.
Yeah, we always like that part too.
But that's not the main crux of it, no.
Right.
I think that says a lot how I feel. My kids are older now, and so having an outlet somewhere where you know that your mind and your abilities and your skills can be utilized in another field or just doing something different. Because Layla and I both realized this morning that our previous lives were in dentistry, and she is a dentist, and I spent 20 years in the dental field, so we actually know quite a few of the same people.
Yeah.
And so at some point you just kind of, like I said, I retired from it. I just got tired of the same kind of stuff. You know what my biggest fear was? I'm not gonna lie. My biggest fear, there's a movie back in the, I guess, 90s called The Dentist.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you remember this
Is it
movie?
a scary movie?
Yeah,
okay,
it's bad.
It's
It's
terrible.
bad.
You'll know because
You know what
I
I'm doing
lost
tonight.
my patience talking about it. Yeah.
But you know what I didn't want to be? I didn't want to be the little old lady sitting behind the receptionist desk getting murdered by the dentist.
I didn't see that part. I didn't see that part.
I know what I'm watching tonight. Wow.
I kid you not. It's like that's how it happens. And I kept telling myself, I don't want to, you know, I'm done. I was done. You know, I was mentally starting to check out, I love my patients. You know, you love that. And so what can I do to help people? Because you're not in it all the time for the money. I was in it for the hours. We were always off on Fridays.
Yeah.
So we had great dental hours.
Right.
You know, our practice was open Monday through Thursday. And then I got to spend the Fridays and the weekends with my kids.
Right.
But how can I take that desire to help others and make other people happy? And everybody should know that we're doing the show on Monday mornings. And I give
Just in
thumbs up.
case you forget.
Just in
Call.
case. I will call you right back, I promise. Sorry to decline your request. But just that passion, that desire to help others, how can we take that
Right.
when we are ready to exit one field and take that desire to help others into another field? And that's where
Right.
Yaneth and I came together with the real estate in mind, because we'd always been in that sort of, you know, mindset and go from there. So that's what makes me happy. I think both of us is just the desire. It's not necessarily always about the money. Of course, you need to have money to travel and pay your bills and,
Yeah.
and do
Right.
stuff and live. But just like you said, the desire to bring joy to others and see how
The money comes.
the money
Right.
comes.
It
Yeah.
always does.
I think life experience too. I could never have done this 10 years ago. I just wouldn't have had some of the skills that I learned along the way just doing
Yeah.
other things.
Exactly.
Doing charity work and things like that. For me, I had to get real comfortable with asking people for
Right.
things, which she knows I hate to ask
I
for
mean,
help.
I'm
I'm good.
I will
asking-
ask
I will
for
ask
things,
for
but I hate
anything.
asking for help. And so I've had to learn to ask people for ideas and for help. And do you want to collaborate? Now I think I'm really good at it. That's one of my strengths as far as, you know, networking for the company and things like that. And I probably wouldn't have been nearly as good 10 years ago. I wasn't as confident. You evolve as a
You do
woman.
evolve. You completely evolve. I think, and you're right. I learned also how to ask because, before, when I was in the different area as a financial advisor, obviously my job was to ask people to trust me with their millions to invest it. And, it's not like, hey, let's have a cup of coffee. It's like, let me take all your hard work money and tell you what to do with it. So I did feel a great responsibility when I did that. And I think, the reason I got into real estate was because I saw a common thread in my clients that a lot of them, even if they were successful, dentists, surgeons, whoever they were, a lot of them had investment real estate portfolios. And I was like, I really need to understand that better. So I made the transfer. But what I was going to say is that truly at the end of the day, you always have to, for me, success is learning something new each day. Making a difference to someone in the world each day, whether it's a smile, whether it's, you're right, all of these things will come because they're part of that, and I do believe in the energy we put out there is going to come back.
Yeah.
And you should ask the universe for the things that you desire and that you want. And it's not all just, like, oh, let's do yoga and be happy forever. Obviously action also follows all those thoughts.
Right.
But if we, and I tell my daughter, like you were saying earlier about wanting to do something, outside of your role as a mom to fulfill you as well. That was probably my creativeness coming through when I had my small child through my cupcakes. But I tell her, don't label yourself. So I think that as women, we're often labeled like you're this, you're that, you have to be the wife, you have to be the mother, you have to, be a businesswoman or whatever it is. And I tell her, we don't need to label ourselves. We can just be you. I'm like, just be yourself and do the things you love, and that should be sufficient. But I think there's so many messages coming at us all the time that you have to kind of block some of them and focus again on what your goal is.
Right. Tell us a little bit about the flowers, where you get them from, like the whole, you had the initial concept of like, you wanted to bring Staci this amazing gift and putting the flowers in this box, which is very different. I don't ever see it. I'm really bad. I always tell my husband not to waste money on flowers. Isn't that terrible?
But these he can buy.
But these, honey, if you're watching,
these won't be a waste. I mean, it's actually, for years.
Yeah, we have, there's people that just love fresh flowers that can't get away from them. I mean, they just love, it's like this special thing, and I think it's special because it dies.
Because you can't keep it forever.
Right, and because the next time you get them, they're different again, and they're special again, and it's not forever again. But for those that don't like that, now there's the forever roses.
And I think decor-wise, these are one thing. They're a very different look. They're very contemporary, very modern.
Yeah.
Whereas, the other boxes tend to be more like a garden in a box. Different things for different people. And Layla has been really good at, she's got our bottom line like down to the penny. And so she's really good at sourcing things and making sure we don't overspend on our flowers.
Our flowers come from, our roses come from Ecuador.
Okay.
It's where the best roses come from. We get some flowers from other countries in South America. We get some from California. Our hydrangeas from Texas. So just kind of from all over, we experiment with different farms. When we love them, we stick to them, and they can't get rid of us. And I call them 50 times a week. But that was part of the journey. Was learning flowers. I mean, I didn't know anything about flowers.
We weren't florists. I knew what roses were.
No.
I mean, that's it. And I didn't know what kind. I'm still, out of the three of us, we have a lead designer as well, probably the least versed on the names. I'll say, no, not the pink fluffy ones, the fluffier ones. No, those over there. Because I just don't make the effort as much. But they've learned so much.
Yeah, so we hired a lead designer. How long ago, Daphne?
Almost a year.
No. So Daphne,
remind us of your anniversary. I will miss it. I'm horrible.
Yay, Daphne.
Daphne started with us when we were still very, I'm going to find a good adjective.
Tired.
Are you ready to throw in the towel?
I
It wasn't
Yeah.
this yet. But she just believed in it, and we saw that from the very first interview, right?
That's so awesome.
And she was always very motivated, and boy, did you learn those flower names. She's also a genius.
Right?
So,
that helps. That
Very
helps.
genius.
She's
Proactive,
she's
very
an
proactive,
artist.
yeah.
She loves people, so genuine, and so she fit perfectly.
It took a load off.
And-
She's very neurotic, like we are,
Yeah.
which is helpful.
So
it works.
she's our lead designer, and she's also helped a lot with just the process of really becoming an expert on flowers and how to care for them, which type we love most, and so I think we're like finally there with flowers.
Our flowers last a long time, even the fresh ones. I mean, we have practiced and practiced and practiced to make sure we know how to get them to the client in perfect condition. You know, experimenting early days with that white hydrangea.
Oh, I love hydrangeas.
Oh,
That's my
I
favorite.
still
white-
have PTSD from that.
Yeah.
You know, it would leave looking so beautiful,
Yes.
and then I'd get a picture. I'm like, that's not what I sent. That's what
Oh.
And so, you know, we had to learn, and so now people are like, oh my gosh, they still look good 2 weeks later.
Oh wow, that's really
Yeah,
good.
it really is. It's
Especially for
amazing.
hydrangeas.
It's amazing.
So is it true that you can throw a baby aspirin in your water and it'll
We talked about this.
She's
Well, actually,
come say
our one of our other employees, wasn't it Jillian that came and said, she said, you can put Viagra.
Oh,
in
That's
the-
expensive.
That's-
Hold on, you know how much that is for?
I don't know.
It's expensive. I'm not going to tell you how I know.
Put Viagra in the water to perk up the flowers. I don't believe her. I never
Has
tried it.
anyone ever tried it? We want to know
I
now.
don't know.
Okay, if you have a spare Viagra
Yeah.
around the
I'm
house,
just gonna be
Jillian,
quiet
if you're
now.
watching, I called
Thanks,
you out on
Jillian.
that.
please put it in the water, do the experiment for us, and let us know.
We
Let us
really
know.
want to
wanna
know.
know.
We really
Just
want to know.
want to know.
Well, you know, it makes sense, I guess.
It does sort of
I
perk
get
up
it.
everything.
I don't know about the aspirin though, but
I've heard that too, though.
I have heard.
But we actually buy the plant food just to be
Okay.
safe.
We
I also heard ice, just like cold
Ice is great.
Oh, ISIS, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, we use ice here.
Okay, awesome. Cool tips. Keep your flowers lasting.
Oh,
know,
and
they're
I
beautiful.
suggest also putting them in the refrigerator overnight. It's
Oh.
like life-changing.
Really?
Really.
Well, I
if you
guess-
can fit, if they'll
If
fit.
they'll
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like you go to the
Right.
grocery
Well,
store.
they have
Yeah,
them in the
fridge.
cooler sometimes.
Yeah, you just have
Yeah,
to make
of
sure.
They don't
Not
touch
too
the
cold.
sides, so you don't want them touching the sides of the fridge. But when they've started to wilt for me, and I've stuck them in, you bring them out in the morning, it's like they got a little
Refresher.
facelift. Yeah, I'm like, oh look, they're firm again. It doesn't last forever, but it'll buy you a few extra days.
Yeah.
But not the freezer. Only
Don't-
not
don't-
the
no.
freezer, guys.
Not
There's
the
a
freezer.
difference.
You're gonna eat them or
Because
something. I don't know.
That's not good. That's not
So if we want, now you guys also your flowers are featured on oh my God, Great Day Houston. Yes.
Houston Life, they're on the
Oh,
yeah. I'm sorry,
table
Houston Life. They're on
every
the table.
day.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's. I love getting
That's
those
nice.
pictures.
Love
Yes,
that.
and I know that because our TV in our lobby at the office runs that channel, and so I'll be
Aw.
seeing them. I'm like, oh, there's Staci. There's flowers.
We've been lucky to get some good press, and it's been
Fantastic.
really fun.
Yeah.
But we constantly work to get it.
Yeah, it's always just trying to evolve, you know, and keep evolving yourself, right, and stay front and center. And it's like what we do in
Right,
real estate.
exactly.
You always want to be front and center with your clients.
Well, we have to have new things to offer. It can't always be we're a floral company.
Right.
Well, they
Right.
know already. So now we're doing workshops, and so that's
Oh,
our new thing. And we
nice.
have
Yeah.
our first workshop coming up, which I was mentioning earlier before you got here that we used to be like so secretive. I didn't want anybody to know. Like you can't know anything about what we do this. Yeah, wouldn't answer a single question.
Right.
Top secret. Mm-mm.
We were like that at the beginning. We didn't want no one else to watch our show but realtors. And we're like, what? That's so lame.
Yeah,
Like, get
yeah.
it out there.
Yeah.
So we finally decided we can share.
Right.
We're just still going to be better than you, but
Right.
we can share. No, I don't mean that, people. I'm sure I'm going to have a few of our customers going to come in. I'm going to try to hire them because they're
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's our new thing, and we're
We're
excited
so
about that.
excited.
Well, and I think that people really want to, they enjoy doing something. That's what we were discussing, that we see the end result all the time, but we want to, even though we don't do it every day, we want to be part of the creative part of it as well.
Right.
And just have something that takes us outside of our normal everyday activities.
Yeah.
So that's a great
That's what I was
concept.
gonna tell you, ladies. Is like you can have this idea, right? Like I had an idea, where your idea can turn into something. And it can blossom into a business, right? That doesn't mean necessarily that I want to be doing the grunt work of the business every day. So then that's because you can't overwhelm yourself. Like we said,
Right.
you're one person doing everything. So outsource the social media marketing person that can handle that. Or like you said, you guys don't want to be delivering flowers. You're gonna hire
That's
someone
what I've
to do
always
that.
said. I never wanted to deliver flowers. We had somebody here once that really liked to deliver flowers, and I don't understand that. But,
We just,
but we all have our
Depends on
different
yes.
our different things, and
Right.
yeah, you have to be able to hire
Right.
really good employees that you trust. If you can't let them work with some autonomy, then you're
Right.
never going to be able to shut it off.
Right.
That's the hardest thing about being a business owner is letting go of responsibility, and we've been really lucky.
We have a very tight team.
We have a really great team. So we've been lucky, knock on flowers.
Not flowers.
Oh,
I don't
here's
need
the
that.
There's no wood.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna add to that. When you do find a great team that believes in what you believe in, oh man, that's just
Yeah.
the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
They're not just going to a job. You guys can
Right.
grow the business and turn it into a career where
Yeah.
you're just educating others, and that's what we do. We partner with a lot of women business owners. Like where I got my dress from, Thinking Boutique Alicia. She has a space on Derry Ashford where
Right.
you can go and use the space and have classes, and just a way to empower other women and other women-owned businesses. So.
Right.
Which I realized I forgot to put my earrings on.
Oh yeah, I have these on.
I
Yeah,
see
these
your
are really-
earrings.
Yeah,
That's so
pretty.
pretty.
I
Oh,
love
it's
tassels. But
I brought the coffee.
yeah, she did bring coffee this morning. I brought my
Oh,
daughter.
it was earrings or coffee.
Well, it's funny because we actually have these mugs with our logo on it, the Caffeinated Show, but I could not find mine this morning.
But that's okay. You brought it
But
for
I
why
did
that's
bring
awesome.
Gabby is another women-owned entrepreneur.
That is so cute.
Isn't it?
So
That's really cute.
her name of her company is Mirarella, and she does this mug called Chiflada.
That's
And
really
I'm
pretty.
you're
What does it mean?
spoiled and Spanish.
We need that in a t-shirt.
She has
Oh,
a t-shirt.
And then
see?
there's another one that she has that I love too. We have cups and the t-shirts,
Yeah.
and it says, "You're like really bonita." Like
Oh,
you're really
yes.
pretty.
I actually have that mug in my car right
I
now.
know.
That's so cute.
It's really cute. She has really cute, and it's like pink, and I guess she does white.
Yeah,
too.
the white and the
Really cute.
rose
Really
pink
cute.
color. So just another woman-owned business that's out
Yeah.
there just doing her thing, and so we always try to help promote them and help everybody out.
And just and what you're saying is really it's about empowering yourself through educating yourself. For me, really, I want women like you guys who own businesses but also understand how the money works, because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, you need to know how money works. You need to know, do you have cash flow? All
Yeah.
these very important things that have to come with your business. But even if you don't have a business, it's so important as a woman, as a man, as anyone, to understand how money works and the tips that you need to, or the things you need to do to make sure you're making good money decisions. Whether you're buying a house, whether you're buying life insurance, whether you're buying whatever it is, always know how much you have and all that information. But I was gonna remind our public
Yes.
that we're
Yes.
going for women entrepreneurs or anybody that is interested. I'm a Latina, and I belong to, like him too, belong to the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. Very
Such a
long,
name.
Nara.
Nara.
But they are having an amazing conference in San Diego.
Yes.
And so it's going to be part real estate and part just like a leadership conference. So if you want to know more about it,
I'll put the link as well later
Yes,
on.
I will be there, and it's the beginning of September, and there's going to be people like Robert Rodriguez,
Zoe
the
Saldana.
guy from the what is his name? Gosh, I was talking baseball, and now J-Lo's husband.
A-Rod.
Oh my gosh, how could I forget that?
Wow.
He's going to be known as
I
JoyBox.
know, that's terrible.
J-Rod.
But also people that like Henry Cisneros, people that were part of, the political landscape, and business owners like the CEO of United Airlines. So there's going to be a lot of people that you can learn from and apply it, whether it's to a business or just to your personal growth.
Right.
So
And that's
I
what they
invite you
wanted
come.
to do. They kind of wanted to take the, make it bigger than just real estate.
Right.
Anybody that was a business owner or CEO of a big company that was really moving and shaking, and just do this 3-day seminar. So it'll be in San Diego, I think
Right.
September 8th.
8th through the 11th. So
11th.
come join me. I've
Yes.
gotten some people from Houston to come with me.
I'm still debating on if I'm going to go or not, but I'll let you know. Well, who can
Can't
deny a
leave
trip to
me
San Diego?
alone.
I know, right?
Right.
San Diego's beautiful. But I'll put the link for the NARA on our page as well.
Right.
And then,
Shubby's
Your 1-year anniversary.
our 1-year anniversary.
Yes,
Thank you for
thank you.
reminding
Yes.
us.
Thank you for reminding us. We are so excited. We can't believe it's almost been a year. Obviously Harvey happened. This is the reason why our show was born,
Right.
because we wanted to just bring information to people about what to do when you're flooded, and it grew from there into a
Right.
real estate show. But we can't believe it's almost been a year, and you're all invited to come join us. It's going to be at Concrete Cowboy on Washington. So it is September the 26th. And in the afternoon. So we are going to be sending out invitations, but we want you guys to all be there and come just party with us.
Yeah, it'll be
So-
fun. I know it's a school night, but it's okay.
You can come for a
escape
little bit.
few hours. Come for happy hour. We're
And
doing it in the
music.
evening. Yeah, we'll have a DJ. We're doing it in the evening because, not everybody can get out on
Right.
it. We don't want to do coffee
In the
party.
morning, yeah.
We do that every week.
Yes, every day.
We can have some hot toddies or something
Yeah.
like that. But, so yeah, that'll be on the 26th. And also the very next day, on the 27th, is the Runway Houston fashion show. So that's going to be off of Kirby. And I'm working with Omar Marcos from Engel and Volkers on some stuff for that.
And he'll
So,
be on our
yeah.
show. I was just telling Stacy that I remember her in the beautiful dress at the Scottish.
that is where we
Remember?
first saw you.
Yes, dressed to kill.
And
Yes,
yes, Dressed to Kill,
Kill.
that millionaire.
And
it
you
was
were
awesome.
actually the one that I took a picture of.
Yes, with the
And
dress.
yeah, and so my background is Scottish and Irish, and so when I saw you walk on that stage, I thought, oh my God, she is stunning.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
took a picture of you and posted it, and I said, I want this dress made for me. It'll be a little bit curvier, but I want it.
That was
That
a
went-
great
that was
outfit. It
beautiful.
was a
That was
good
beautiful.
outfit.
That
It
was a fun show.
fun event, really fun event.
And and it was super cold though that night.
It was
cold.
freezing. I was really glad I got an outfit that had sleeves,
Yeah.
but it was really cold. But I've known Omar for a long
Oh,
time
okay,
as
great.
well, and my daughter actually walked in the last Runway Houston.
Oh, nice.
And he's a great guy, and
Yeah.
he's been doing it, gosh, I don't know how many years, it might be his
For
5th year, 6th year?
a few years.
Sorry,
yeah.
Omar, I don't remember, but it's been a really, really long time.
I'll have to
it's always
tie
a good
him
event.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm working on doing something with him on the coffee end for that show that day.
that'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So we're excited. And other news that we want to thank you guys so much
Right.
for allowing us to come here to your studio and with this beautiful backdrop.
And the ceiling.
Yeah,
I just
we'll
love
take
that.
some pictures here and post them so everybody can see the ceiling, but it's amazing. It reminds me of what's the movie?
Mary Poppins?
Yes. But on a much grander, like
More beautiful.
scale.
So tell everybody how to reach you guys. Obviously, go.
Yeah,
What's the best
We're
way?
online,
Okay.
joyboxflowers.com. You can order online. We deliver to the greater Houston area, including Sugar Land, Richmond, all the way up to the Woodlands.
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we answer our messages.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
call.
They do.
We have a little phone back here. I don't know if you can see it, but
It
it,
is
works.
so
It actually
cute.
rings.
Super cute.
I wanted to have it. It's so adorable.
That's adorable. Can you order and do same day or?
Yes,
Are you, okay.
if you order by 11 a.m.,
Okay.
then we can do same day.
Okay.
Awesome. That's good to know. And we will put the links as well to the JoyBox social media and website, your phone number, and how to get a hold of you guys.
Yes. Thanks
on
so
our
much for letting us
platforms.
come
You
here.
ladies for
I think we
visiting.
have one last announcement, and then we are going to have more. Don't forget, if you have not RSVP'd to this Thursday's real estate,
Women's Council of Realtors.
the place to be for real estate this Thursday, to listen to Jim McInvale. So he's going to talk at the Women's Council of Realtors.
Yes, that'll be at the Junior League. So be sure to go online. I'm in charge of that whole check-in process. So guys, I cannot stress it enough to please go online and order and get your ticket today. I think we're shutting off registration at like noon the day before. So Wednesday the day
So
before.
do it today so that you don't forget.
Right,
You
and my
have a
number's
spot.
on there if you have any issues on the link. But I also have a class coming up at my office. Let me tell you guys about it. The 21st, Bradford and Company is going to be coming out to my office. They're going to be teaching a tax strategies class for realtors. I really feel like it's anything business, you know, for small business, you could probably come and join us. But it is with a realtor in mind. So if you want to come to that class, it's free. Lunch will be provided, and then I will put up the link for that. But follow us on Facebook.
Right. We'll have other events that we'll announce for the end of August and September as well. So more classes to come. But thank you for joining us. Thanks again, ladies, for letting us be here. So until next time,
Until
stay
next week,
caffeinated.
stay